information about what we can release and how to go about doing that. I think it's been up to Gary to release information to the public. And I think that my suggestion is that we have a committee that decides what is released from complaints. And that committee decides on a case-by-case basis. My hope is that as much is released as possible from complaints as is legal. But we should have a committee that does this rather than Gary continue doing that.
Any comments from board members? Al?
I think that I'm basically in favor of this recommendation. I think that I would like to have some kind of a discussion with the police department about just how this might go together. I don't want to be setting up barbed wire buffers between the Citizens Police Review Board and the citizens, and the Citizens Police Review Board and the police. So I would like it to flavor this with some working out, see what we can work out with the police department per se in this regard, as well as from the legal counsel we're hoping to have to represent the people's interest.
Michael?
Okay, I think that the last motion was created partly by the request at different times that we have this same sort of committee or something, and we have a broader understanding of what is to be released to the press. I think by forming a committee right now, until if in fact we are going to hear from independent counsel, we already have an understanding of what the city attorney had provided to us as to what we can release. I think it's premature. I think we're not going to be able to, if we create a committee, what's this committee going to be able to do other than research legally? And the access that we have to research right now, we all already have binders full of. And so the information comes down from the city attorney and Gary releases that information based on the legal opinion of the city attorney. Now, if that opinion would change by virtue of independent counsel, then I would consider that a committee would be an important part of it. But right now, to create a committee to determine what can be released, we've basically been told what can be released.
Any other board members with comment? Ray?
What additional research do you think we could do? I mean, I essentially agree with Michael about right now, what we've been told as a board, what we can release is what we do release. So, and Gary has done a little bit of research on this, so I guess I'm curious to hear what additional research you think.
Yeah, my suggestion wasn't really that we have a committee to research the release of information. It was that we have a committee that decides what we release. I agree that we have a lot of research already done, and we pretty much know kind of what we can release now. Although, why I say kind of is because it seems that what we've heard from the city attorney partially is that it's up to our discretion what we release within certain parameters. So we do have to make decisions about what we release, and I think that we should have a committee that's deciding that now.
Michael?
And John, in your letter, you bring up a case that we have already heard. This is a case regarding some information that was given to the San Jose Mercury News. If I recall, that reporter went down to the police department and got the report himself, and got a copy of that report, and that information wasn't. So for you to quote that due to no fault of the reporter who had no access to the complainant, the information in the article, in your opinion, was greatly misleading. I think that was the information that was available, and that may still be the information that's available from this point on, based on the information that we have from our legal counsel right now, which is the city attorney. So I think that to create a committee right now and to give that committee power to determine what to release is very premature. And I think that based on the information that we have right now and the directive that we've received from John Ferguson, that
So the committee would be powerless to be able to release information?
On anything different than is being released now, because there is no other legal opinion out there.
Well, what are we releasing now? It's varied. I mean, that's why I think what we've been releasing has not been completely constant or consistent.
Gary?
I'm being very cautious of what is released because of the sort of gray areas the city attorney has outlined for us as a board. And he says generic statements, you can't violate the confidentiality of the officers' names. General descriptions on what the complaint is about, and not going into too much case-specific detail. This is about as much guidance as he could give. There was one other factor in his opinion, and that was that if there was some public prior knowledge to an incident that leads to a complaint, and we release information about the complaint, that the public can link to that incident, and therefore perhaps link to the officer, then we are violating the confidentiality of the officer. This to me seems like it would only happen in very rare circumstances, but it also means that we would have to be aware of everything that's in print about incidents that happen in senators' officers. So it seems like an impossible chore. So as it is right now, until